Good morning folks, Ken Ring of www.predictweather.com, and it's the 19th of April. Well, in the last blog I know we were speaking quite a bit about volcanoes, and I explained that the Iceland one occurred over the new moon, on the new moon day. Well, so did the Tarawera eruption that in New Zealand here ruined the famous pink and white terraces. It was actually one of the 7 wonders of the world, and that was in 1886. And when Mt Pinatubo in the Philippines went up, big volcano, in June the 12th, 1991, that was also a new moon day. Now, at that time, they said that that eruption and the resulting clouds of dust and ash would cause, and have caused, unusually cool temperatures for a year afterwards. Well, guess what? They're fibbing. It didn't. I have an article on the website about it, and if you email me on inquiries@predictweather.com, I can send you the Met Service graphs for 3 countries, Auckland in New Zealand, and Dublin in Ireland, and Tokyo in Japan. And I picked the 3 because they're representative of the globe, especially the Tokyo one, which is a couple of thousand miles downwind from the Pinatubo region. The temperatures and sunshine figures were completely unaffected for years afterwards. So why have the climatologists and meteorologists been saying that? Because they're global warming crazy. That's why. And they want you to believe that gases from the air, put into the air from any source, either man-made or natural, will affect climate and temperatures. But no, it won't. Not ever. So far, the scientists have counted about 135,000 volcanoes above ground, and they know even more are underwater. And they're finding new ones every day. Not only volcanoes, emissions, eruptions, fissures, these things they call black smokies, which are vents in the rock. These things have been popping off every second for billions of years. They warm the water up just around them. They raise the sea level a little wee bit because of that warming. So you never know at any one time how high the sea is, because you don't know how many of these fissures are out there and which ones are popping off. And they all put carbon dioxide into the air. And that's how the stuff gets there. It's heavier than air, and it floats down. Talking about carbon dioxide, it floats down when it can get past the wind currents. Well, that's when the vegetables get it that are growing in your garden. How else do you think they get it? Do you really think that all the vegetables and the flowers in the world have been waiting for thousands of years for the motor car to get invented so they can at last get some carbon dioxide out of the air? No, the carbon dioxide's always in the air. It has always been. And the only way that it gets up there is out of volcanoes. It shoots up, many kilometres. Well, you'll probably see media reports in the next few weeks about how volcanoes are bad, how they can shield the sun, threaten the planet, cool everything down, change the climate. Well, don't believe it. The planet is still here. We're still here. The process has been going on now ever since the world began. The seasons are still here. They're just as regular as they ever were. A little bit of tweaking here and there, sometimes later, sometimes colder, hotter, but pretty well regular in the calendar months. I live in Auckland. We're not getting snow on Rangitoto in the middle of February yet, and I doubt that we ever will. So climate change, I think it's nonsense. Well, got that off my chest. Now, right now, where's that moon? Well, there it is there, sitting up there. See how low it's getting in our sky? Well, it's in Gemini, one sign from Cancer, which is the northern declination, the northernmost point that it gets to, and it'll be there tomorrow night. So, it gets to this northernmost point every 27 days. It's a cycle called the declination cycle. And it's the lowest in the southern hemisphere sky. And of course it'll be the highest in the northern hemisphere sky. So if you're in the southern hemisphere where I am, you will see the moon due north at 4:30 p.m. Although actually it's right above the island of Okinawa, just south of Japan. But from here it looks like it's just over the hill in the north somewhere. You always get that kind of illusion. And it'll be a C shape. Of course, if you're in the northern hemisphere and you look up and face south at 4:30 p.m. You'll see it almost at its highest point, and it'll be a C reversed, because of course the people in the northern hemisphere are standing on their heads compared to us down in the south, who are the right ways up. Cheers everybody, see you tomorrow.